Hello, welcome to another episode of Take Back America. We the people need to take back America. Taking off my white hat for you people. Put my white hat right where the logo will be for Take Back America. With me in the studio today is another American who is royally screwed over by the justice system and the police of Lompoc and criminals who were let out of prison specifically so they could help the cops do something, but instead he wanted to rape Dan Petry's young wife that he had just married, 35 years ago, Dan?
In 1980, I married her on Valentine's Day in 1980, and then within my first year of marriage, I had to save her from being sexually assaulted, raped, or possibly murdered by Leonard Lehane, a corrupt government narc, working for a sheriff named Nungary for the sheriff's department. So, yes, sir, correct.
Yeah, but we're not going to talk about that today because we've talked about that before. One thing I want to show you is this flag. This is not your ordinary American flag. This flag has the names of hundreds and hundreds. You can't see it at a distance, but if you look close, you see little white lines running across. Those are the names of hundreds of firefighters who died on 9/11 because their walkie-talkie emergency firefighter communication devices did not work in high-rise buildings. They were Motorola's, and Mayor Tutti Frutti Giuliani, you know, the guy dressed in a dress that I've shown you many times. You can see it on YouTube, thanks to the New York Fire Department. He got the fire department when they complained, another set of Motorola's that don't work, and they were not on the same channel as, and didn't have the capability of switching to the channel that the police department of New York was on. So when the Twin Towers were brought down in that perfect demolition job, carefully plotted for a long, long time, while the firemen were running up the stairs to help save people and put out these small fires in 2 or 3, 4, 5 floors, the police department was exiting the building. So they're going past each other, and there's no communication. That's why I hold up this flag of all the dead firefighters. They died because of a criminal, in my opinion, named Tutti Frutti Rudy Giuliani. The guy you can see Donald Trump kissing when he's in drag. Not Donald Trump's in drag, Tutti Frutti Giuliani's in drag. And this is a good Catholic district attorney, former prosecutor for New York, tough guy, dressed in a dress. Why? To raise money for the gay, lesbian, transvestite, and whatever other weird concoction you can think of alliance. He's dressed in a dress. Mayor Rudy. Thanks to the fire department for putting that out. Well, we could all see the real presidential candidate. Oh, way back when the criminals were pushing so hard. I mean, the bank gangsters were pushing so hard to make Tutti Frutti Rudy Giuliani, the good Catholic prosecutor, tough guy from New York City, our next president. God forbid, and God did forbid it. I mean, Ron Paul was beating him right out of the starting gates, and after a few primaries, Rudy just stayed away. You can be sure he didn't want to go to the Iowa straw caucus, where there are real, normal, middle America type Americans. No, Rudy didn't show up for them. These people believe in their Bibles and their religions and actually go to church and synagogue on Sunday and don't dress up in drag. But that's not what I'm here to talk about tonight. That's not what Dan's here to talk about tonight. I just wanted to remind you, now that we're this is 2013, we're 12 years past 9/11, and we still haven't got the truth of why 3,000 people, including 350 firemen, died. The truth has not been told. The 9/11 investigation was crapola, pure crapola. Just so, go see Richard Gage's, he's an architect, Architects and Engineers for 9/11 Truth. Architects and Engineers for 9/11 Truth. Over 1,000 architects and engineers, people that build skyscrapers, have backed him up to say no airplanes brought down the Twin Towers, plus the third building. The third building. They never want to talk about number 3, which was, number 3 was the Solomon Building. The one Jane, strangely from the BBC, is seen in front of big plate glass windows with the Solomon Building behind her, standing 5.5 hours after the Twin Towers collapsed. She's there reading her teleprompter like a good pretty face that they put on TV for you. And she's saying, oh, we got word 20 minutes ago the Solomon Building collapsed. But you look over her left shoulder and there it is. It's standing, proud and tall. And then they pixelate her out of the picture. This is BBC footage, which I've captured and put on YouTube. You can find it, William Wagner, 9/11, Jane, BBC, Truth. You know, you'll find it. And there she is, announcing it fell, but it's still standing. And then they pixelate away, and 20 minutes later, people, it does collapse. The corporate media was in on the whole 9/11 disaster from the get-go. That's what you need to know. Once you understand that, by looking at the evidence, the video documentary evidence that's easily available on YouTube, it all becomes clear. You're living in a matrix. The real conspiracy is the crapola fed to us by the corporate media and George Herbert Walker Bush and his son George W. Bush and Dick Cheney and all those numbskulls that should be locked up in prison for the murder of 3,000 people, and then launching a war on false pretenses and killing another 1 million people in Iraq to get one crooked dictator that George Herbert Walker Bush, when he was a CIA agent, helped put in charge of Iraq. Wow. How much garbage are you people going to swallow before you finally wake up? Yes, we did an opening with a flyback to summer. It is summer now. Flyback to Brianna Moore and myself at the beach in 2011, and I was overdressed then.
Yeah, I don't like to overdress myself.
I can see you just wearing some plain red, white, and blue there.
Yeah.
Is this the ever-ending spiral into truth?
Well, I'm just trying to show that I'm a true American, and I wish America would go back to the America that I was taught when I grew up. It just, to me growing up, it was, Halloween, Santa Claus, Disneyland, Snoopy, Charlie Brown. I mean, it was just this wonderful land you're going to live in. You're going to get married, and you're going to have kids. And I got married at 20 years old, and I found out all that was just propaganda. It's nothing like that. Our country is filled with lots of problems, and it starts, which is what my expertise over the last 33 years has been. The police are a lot of the problems in our country because, as I said in my show, I have my opening statement. The police want us to live in fear, and they generate that fear by the garbage that they pull on us constantly, which is basically everything up to murdering us, and
including
murdering us. But then they feel, as I said before, we need more of them because they generate the fear that we need them to protect us from the fear. But they're the ones generating the fear in most of the cases. I'm less afraid of the gang members than I am of the police. I mean, that's how bad it is. But as I said, it's like
the gang members will only mug you on the street and take your money or your car, but the police will beat you up, nearly kill you, and then charge you with false crimes, and then run you through the criminal justice system. I mean, just today I dealt with 2 people. One from Lompoc, a woman saying, "Hey, my niece stole my car, damaged it up in another state, but she stole it from Lompoc, and I can't get the district attorney Dudley to do anything about it."
Yeah.